All right, well, good morning, everybody. Wow, what a great attendance today. There's lots of favorites that I have around Covenant Christian School, favorite times to get together. One of those is graduation, and probably second to that, a very close second, is Family Day. Family Day is really important to me because I get to see many people that I've known for years, new folks that I haven't got a chance to meet yet. And in addition to that, we have grandparents who have lived life and extend great amount of wisdom, all the way down to the kids with a sparkle in their eye that we're ready to help develop as leaders and to impact this world to God's glory. In doing that, though, I also want to recognize some important folks, people that work around the year, all year long, to make Covenant Christian School a great place for you to send your kids. So with that, I would ask that the board stand up, the CCS board, which is a group of individuals, again, that work all year long. And I'll just read off some of their names and while they're standing. So Kevin Adama, Paul Boscher's not here, Debbie Blennis, Vanita Hensel, Mary Jensen is not here, and then Don Patterson, not sure if he made it. Okay, thank you. And oh, I didn't introduce myself. I'm David Honigman. I'm the chair of the board. So in addition to that, I'd also like to introduce our administration for the school. So if you could stand up. You met earlier Ron Fisher, who is our head of school. And we have Lori Manier, who is our accounting extraordinaire. And also we have Shannon Schroep on my left here, is our elementary principal. And then Tara Smith, who is not here today, unfortunately, is our secondary principal. So thank you guys for all the hard work that you do. So while we had everybody here, we thought, what a better time to tell you and remind everybody what we want and see as a vision for Covenant Christian School. This is definitely God's kingdom work that we're doing here as a ministry at Covenant Christian School. Let me see here. Oops. It's a true partnership that we depend on between the families, the students, your local churches. In addition to that, we know we have a great product, but we have a product that we even want to make better. So one way to do that is through communication. And one important part about communication is to start by listening. So you may have seen some communication coming out from the board, sent to you via email or by letter. That's one form of communication that we've done. Since this summer, the board has been actively working on identifying and putting together key actions that would not only drive the future success of our students, but also satisfy the needs for you as families. With that in mind, as we were working on these various things, which I'll explain to you more in a minute, we conducted a survey. You guys responded to that survey overwhelmingly. In fact, we had over 118 unique responses to that survey. Why is that important? We want to hear your voice. We want to find out how to make Covenant Christian School a better place for you to send your students here, for us to help generate new, wise servant leaders. So through those 118 unique responses, we received, the most of you have a strong belief that the homework quantity is probably a little heavy, maybe even too much. Many of you expressed that you feel that the homework may just be busy work. Believe me, it's not the intent of this administration that that's the case. We want to have a rigorous academic schedule in front of your kids so that they are prepared as they move out. But we also have another desire. That desire is to protect your family time. It also is to provide opportunities, rich opportunities, such as extracurricular involvement and to engage with your local church, and also to have leadership opportunities. If you saw around here this morning, you saw a bunch of leaders, starting from this high, going all the way up to here. I don't know about you, I wouldn't be as comfortable as they are getting up in front of this large group of folks. So what is it that we're looking for as a board? We're looking for three things. We want to seek to ensure that these things happen here at Covenant. We want to see graduate success. We also would like to see a gospel-centered community that you've probably already heard about. And also, with those two in mind, we want to be able to impact our community. These items may not be as clear as you would think. So what does it mean to have graduate success? Graduate success, yes, is to be well prepared academically. That these kids that are leaving here are ready to go out to the institutions, the universities, and the workplace. That's what we're striving to prepare them for. But as a differentiator, and why I think that most of you send your kids here, as well as my own, is that we want them to be well-rounded. Well-rounded by thinking critically, not to think within a box, but how to think outside of the box. We also want them to live out the gospel. It's important to us. We care about the heart of our students. And we also want them to continue to follow and remain faithful to Christ. So as they leave and graduate out, I've got to see mine all the way through the school. I want to see them go off to the university and own their faith and to be leaders in that community. And I've seen that demonstrated not only through my own kids, but through many others. So next is a gospel-centered community. What does that mean? So while your students are here, we want them to feel free to learn, not pressured, maybe not feeling like they're accepted. Our kids, we want them to love each other in the special way that God made them. We also want to promote community within the classroom, with the teachers, with the families, and community outside of the walls of Covenant Christian School. We do that by partnering with the families and the churches that you attend. And lastly, we want to have a great value. We want to deliver great value in the education that your kids are getting here. In addition to that, we want to make it financially accessible by the community at large. So, the third point that we would like to do is have a positive impact in our community. We want our school to be salt and light. Salt and light, again, inside the classroom, on the field of play, also on the stage. Not only the stage in here, but also in the stage in life and in the workplace. We want to see excellence in their character. That's why these teachers pray with your kids. They come beside them when they're having a tough day. They can actually extend that extra mile, and that's a differentiator that we have here at Covenant. We want them to be presented with the gospel. We want them to see the truth. We think that that's important. And we also want them to be able to present the gospel. We want them to be comfortable with sharing why they're different, how God has changed their life. We think that's extremely impactful. And lastly, we want them to be able to apply the biblical principles in their everyday life. As this is an ever-changing country that we're living in, they have social pressures. They're introduced with different technologies, different situations. We want them to be able to take the biblical principles and apply them to their daily life, and feel that is very important. So, lastly, I mentioned a minute ago, I mentioned about homework. But it came apparent to the board that to truly serve both the students and the families, we had to take a look at the bigger picture of academic vision and then homework. In brief, I'll let our headmaster, Ron Fisher, speak to this more in detail in a moment. We knew that as a school, the demands on our students, or our graduates, were radically different radically different than they were 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. While the fundamentals of education still remain the same, math is math, but how our kids learn is different. What they learn is different. The universities, what they're looking for in our students are different. What employers are looking for in our students are different. The use of application and technology and so on are all different. They're changing the way that we go about life. So with that, I'm going to introduce Ron Fisher, our head of school, to go into details of how we want to accomplish that goal. Thank you, Ron.
Before we get into some of the things we're planning, and I'm really excited to announce to you today, I want to go over some of the great things. We are already a great school who's seeking to be even greater and to be more excellent in our excellence. So I have a few things to show you here today that I think we can all celebrate. That is, I don't know if you know this, if you've been to a Wednesday morning chapel, that room is almost full. We have an unbelievable number of elementary students this year, and we are pretty much at capacity. So we are so proud and glad to have that. We have a new 5th, 6th grade combination class, which has allowed us to do many things for those students and the larger elementary program. We just got done our Elementary Christian Growth Week. And if you had a chance to come and see that a few weeks ago, you were blessed, as I was blessed to see how these kids worshiped, how they learned, and how they were led by our upper schoolers. So this wasn't something that teachers or administrators did. This was led by our own kids, being wise servant leaders. We have a new makerspace which teaches about learning coding and discovery-based learning. Some of you may have seen that today over in the B building. That's a neat program we're glad to be doing. We have many different after-school clubs, Spanish, Lego robotics, and many more. I know a lot of you are taking advantage of that right now. And we have 3 students right now. As far as choir, we have Florida All-State Choir Conference coming up, and we've got 3 kids going to that. That is a real accomplishment we are proud of. In addition to that, guys, let me tell you this, any public, private, or otherwise school in this county, or this state for that matter, will be glad to say that they have 2 semifinalists for a National Merit Scholarship. That is unbelievable. Congratulations to those students. In addition to that, we just found out that one of those 2 seniors is also being considered, is now a candidate for the 2017 U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. He is one of 4,000 seniors in this country who's being considered for this great award, and that is Jacob Clem. In addition to that, our drama program continues to knock it out of the park. We have a superior ranking for 2 drama students competing, and we will be competing in March at the drama competition. We are across the board. Our upperclassmen are averaging the 70th percentile on PSAT critical reading and math, and our girls varsity basketball team, man, I was here last night. Another win for them, and they continue on in the regional tournament, and we pray on to state next week. So these are some great things that are happening, but again, we want to make things even more excellent. So I want to tell you about some of the things that we are about to start doing to increase and expand and enhance our program. Number 1, our future success will be based upon a few different things, particularly in our upper school. We're going to start doing something called block scheduling. And what that is it's a new and exciting change to enhance these educational goals. This will allow and give teachers the ability to educate and enhance and engage our students like never before, allowing students more time to work, get this, in the classroom on learning. Not at home, in the classroom. Okay, so we're excited to give them more time through this block scheduling so that they'll have more time with you at home. Less on homework, more time with you. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make sure that we are giving you the greatest tools possible to make sure that your student is on a specific learning path so that they are being given the optimal opportunity to do the best they can while here at school. So we're going to be working more on that. Then lastly, we are looking and already reaching out to local community businesses and partnerships and service providers. We're going to start offering internships and opportunities for our students as they get into the upper grades to start checking out what the work world is really like, and will I like this when I graduate from college? I don't know about you, but when I went to college, I didn't finish with the major that I started with. And so we want them to see what it's like, because we'd rather have them spend great time and efficient time while they're in college so that by the time they're done, they actually like what they just studied. Okay? So we want to make sure that they have the opportunity to really feel out what it is like out there in the work world and give them that hands-on experience. We want to give them a taste for real-world career work. Now, we have a few different things that we're going to be doing. We want to make sure that the teachers are also looking to filter assignments. So when there is homework, teachers will be asking themselves questions, okay? Does this assignment enhance what I'm doing in the classroom? So they'll be asking themselves a series of questions. We also want to make sure that teachers are equipped with a tool so they understand in the upper school how much homework is being assigned from time to time. Now, the board took a step back. They saw the problem with homework and making sure that there wasn't too much. We heard you, we listened to you, and at the same time, we wanted to step back and make sure that we understood where our academic vision was. And we felt like in looking at these various programs, this would be a successful way of doing it. We ultimately want to continue to hear from you. And so I want to give you some things that I'm working on so that you understand what we're doing. First of all, in elementary with homework, we are looking at and evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of our students to select homework activities to meet their individual learning needs whenever possible. If kids don't need homework, they're not going to have it. But if kids need homework and need that reinforcement, then it will be sent home with them. We also want to provide more time for parent-child reading. Hear me on this, folks. That is critical. Between pre-K and 6th grade is very important. We've got to make sure that our students are reading on grade level in 3rd grade. That is so critical for future learning. And please, pick a book out, read to your kids. It's so important to their learning across the board, whether it be math, science, history, Bible, whatever it is. If you're reading to your kids, they're succeeding. So we want to make sure that we eliminate homework so that you have the time to do that. And so what we're going to be doing in kindergarten through 2nd grade is eliminating written homework other than math or an occasional project in those classrooms. So what we're going to do, if we're giving you that extra time, we need you to read to your kids. And then lastly, as I mentioned a little earlier for elementary, we want to train our teachers in using a matrix to help determine the purpose of assignments and projects in order to better align homework with our curriculum and our student needs. Now for secondary, this is really important. And for you students in here, I want you to hear this too. We need to know how you're doing. We need you to communicate with us. We will be providing a form to you next week, parents, so that you know if your student is at home and you feel like they've had enough homework and it's just too much for tonight, you can send us that form into those teachers in whatever class they cannot get to that homework and communicate with that teacher, and that teacher will work with you to find either the best time to do it or the best time that we're just going to skip over it. We want to make sure that parents are communicating with us through this form, and students, if you just say, I didn't tell my parent, and teacher, I just wasn't able to get to it. The other day, I was talking to Mr. Axum, and a student was talking to him and said, do you know I have 5 tests this week? I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And he says, I'll work with you. Students, make sure you know your teachers love you and they want to work with you. If you've got too much on you, you need to be telling them. And with your parents, let's make sure that we're communicating and we understand what's best for you for when you go home. And we believe that what's best for you is to be a family when you get home. Take a walk, talk to your kids, read to them. Those are important things for us as a community. Some other things I want to make sure that you know we're going to be doing also is that communication will dramatically increase from our study hall teachers and our teachers who are assigning homework to be worked on in the classroom. Guess what? Sometimes they have time to work on it in the classroom or in the study hall. Students, hear me again. If you're given the time to do it at school, you can do it at school, and you don't have to take it home. So we're going to be communicating with you if we think your student's not making the best use of their time while they're here with us. We will provide a seminar for middle and upper school parents on how to help students with homework, prioritizing study skills, electronics management. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. We're going to be setting up a seminar later this school year so that you can come in and get some tips on how you can help your student, whether it be kindergarten or 12th grade, with how to prioritize and study and take the phone away while they're doing their homework. How about that? I will also be forming a parent group to assist me in monitoring homework successes and failures by checking in with fellow parents on progress. So I can't promise everybody will get a call, but this is our way of finding out how's it going. So take their call them back. They want to know how things are going so that we can communicate, again, another vehicle, another avenue for us to be able to communicate to you as a parent and find out how things are going. Now, next week, I know this is a lot to take in, and everybody's not going to get a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, so next week, I'll be sending you an email with the core of this presentation, and these changes will be outlined in it, and guess what? I'm going to send you that form, too, so that you can utilize that as early as next week. So beyond excellence in academics, our desire, again, like we said, is to protect your family time. Opportunities for extracurricular involvement, engagement with your church, and many leadership opportunities that we'll be providing to your students. These are important things to us, and we know they're important things to you. So in closing, I want to say we are ever vigilant to protect our reason for being here. We not only believe in academic excellence and rich opportunities, but also a solid and firm gospel-centered culture. When it comes to that gospel-centered culture, parents, please hear me on this. When we see things in our school that are out of balance with our gospel culture, we will address it, and we will always pursue His ways in His guidance. Thank you.